Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We've got the little vibes going in the background. All of the autumnal decorations are fully decked out. Duvet covers, pumpkins. We're ready for autumn. I love it. Favourite time of year, autumn, winter. These last 4 months are my favourite. Anyway, onto the makeup that we're doing today. As you can see, I've already done my eyebrows, but we are doing a bit of a beauty inspired makeup, but a autumnal Halloween inspired eyeshadow. So I'm gonna do it's kind of a Frankenstein inspired eyeshadow, so you'll see what I mean. But we're doing that, something cute but also on theme. And yeah, who knows, you might want to wear this for Halloween or to a party or anywhere really. You might want to wear this yourself because it's quite a wearable look. But yeah, I'm gonna get straight into the video. So as you can see, I've already done my brows and I've just concealed them with my Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and I've just still got a bit of that on the back of my hand that I'm gonna take onto the eyelid, ready to apply the eyeshadow. And it's been a little while since I did an eyeshadow look, I think, or at least quite a big eyeshadow look compared to a nudes and browns. So to start on the eyes, I'm taking my Made by Mitchell colour case. This palette is called Eclectics, and we're going to be taking this shade, which is called Matcha Business, because this is like the pastel-y kind of Frankenstein green that we're looking for. And I'm just going to warm that up on the back of my hand. I'm going to take a bit of a flat brush to apply this to the lid and then go around the edges with a fluffy brush towards the end. And we're just going to do a bit of like a winged eyeshadow. So I'm going to apply it over the lid, and I don't want it to be too thick, so I'm like spreading it with the flat brush, because the thicker it is, the harder it'll be to blend out with the fluffy brush because it is a cream. I'm bringing it right to the front, but not fully, because we are going to go in with some white there. I'm just going to build that colour up on the lid. And now I'm going to take the fluffy brush, and this has not got anything on it, I'm just going to blend around the edges to smooth it out. And this is kind of looking very minty green, but I think that's what we want still. Just going back in again with that colour where the blending sort of taken it away. I think before I go in with any of the white, I'm going to add a little bit of shade into this eye just to give it a bit more of a green look. I've literally just been talking to you guys and it wasn't even recording. Right, so I've gone in with that dark green. I don't know if I actually showed you it then because I didn't press record. So the only one I found that is on the same lines is this NYX Ultimate palette, and this green is the only one that's kind of on the same like undertones colour. Anyway, and I was just saying to myself, because it wasn't recording, they're not very pigmented shadows anyway, so there's like, it's not going to ruin the look. This is what I've added so far, and that's just with fully picking up loads of product and it going on, and it's kind of given it a bit of dimension, and it's brightened up the colour to be more green, so I'm happy with that, and it works perfectly for this. But I was saying, this is such an old palette anyway, so the pigmentation has probably gone with time, but also I'm pretty sure when I bought it there wasn't that much pigmentation anyway. So I was just building up the crease area, and then sort of just realised it's not as dark as I thought, and I'm kind of spreading it everywhere in the end. But I'm still going to keep this area as it is to keep up that dimension of the eyeshadow, so we don't want it to look flat. But the reason I realised I wasn't recording was I literally looked at myself to have a conversation about drugstore products, because it's very hit and miss. I feel like some eyeshadow palettes can be so non-pigmented, and maybe this is more back in the day to now, but there are some amazing drugstore palettes and just makeup. My whole kit was built off of drugstore makeup, and it pretty much still is. I rate drugstore makeup. Like, we don't need to be paying £40 for a concealer. Don't get me wrong, most of my palettes now aren't drugstore, but I do still have some good ones. So, and if I need a quick one or a little nude one for my client kit, they're great. I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to move on to adding the white in the corner. I'm using my Painted Create paint, and I have to shake this because for some reason it comes out so liquidy, like oil, like the product separates. I'm not sure why that is. I know obviously products do separate anyway, but it's just a bit annoying in this kind of tube. Like, I think if it was in a little bottle, it's so much easier to shake than in a little tube. So I'm just going to put some of this onto my hand, and we did definitely shake it enough. Now apply it with a flat brush, and then I'm going to blend it out quickly with a fluffy brush because these paints do set. Onto the green, we don't want to bring it too high. I'm going to switch to my fluffy brush. And then just build up that colour a little. Then I do have an eyeshadow palette with a nice white in it, and this is Drop Dead Gorgeous, a little bit Psycho, BH Cosmetic. Anyway, I'm just going to take that white powder and apply it over the top of this white in hopes to make it more white, but it doesn't need it to set it. I was going to go in and do the detailing on this eye, but I've just thought these products on my hand will dry if I don't move straight onto this eye. So instead of wasting the product that's on my hand, I'm just going to go straight in, do this eye, but I'll just time-lapse it for you because you've already seen me do it on this eye. But I'll keep you involved. I won't take this over to TikTok or anything. You can watch it here. So just replicate that on the other eye, and now before we go in with adding the little stitch detail that we're doing, I am going to go in with my e.l.f. eyeliner pen, and we're going to do a bit of a cat eye full wing liner. Just going to bring it out like that. And drag it back in. And then I'm going to fill that in before we follow the eye shape. And then follow the eye. And we've got to be very careful on this white on the inside now. Like so, that is our little wing, and I'm going to go do that on the other eye as well, but I'm not going to bore you with that because, yeah, it's basically the same thing. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back to you to add the finishing details to the eye. So now turns out I may as well just use my eyeliner again. To add the stitch in, I'm basically just going to draw another bit of liner somewhere up here on that big crease of the eye. So we're going to do that. Obviously I'm going to perfect it. This is just like a sketch, so just bear with. Now that we've done that, I am going to take my black acrylic paint, and to be honest, if you don't have all of this stuff, you can just use eyeliner again. It's basically the same thing. I just feel like my eyeliner pen is quite dry. If you have quite a liquidy eyeliner, it'll be good for this. So I'm just going in with my acrylic paint instead, and then I just use a very small face painting brush to pick that up. And we're basically going to be creating these little black holes for stitches to go into. So we're doing 3 along the eyeliner here and 5 along this liner that we added. So I'll go ahead and show you that on my right eye. And then these end holes should just be a tiny bit smaller. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the ones on this side as well. I'm going to start on the top and then do the bottom. I'm just going to do these quite thin. And then I'm just going to let them dry before we go in with the stitches. So I'm going to go do the same on the other side and I'll come back to you. So we've done the other eye, and now for the stitching, I'm taking this silver water-based face paint. This is just a cheap Snazaroo one, but it's just actually quite good getting that colour on my brush. And all of the stitches are going to be curved away from the inside of the eye, so they're all going to curve this way. So I think I might start up here. And then we're going to do these ones on the eyeliner, and these ones can be bigger so it's not as much pressure. And now to finish off these little stitches, I'm just taking a liquid white face paint and a tiny brush, and we're going to have to go so gentle and add a tiny bit of highlight in. And that is basically the eyeshadow. I'm going to go off camera and do the other eye, and then add some mascara, and I'll probably finish. I've recorded quite a few clips of this already, so I'm probably going to do my face off camera and I'll come back to you to finish off the under eye of the makeup. Guys, I've just done my whole face and the other eye, and we're ready to do the under eye of this makeup. So we're just going to take the same colours that we did earlier, the white and the light green, and I'm basically probably just going to take it on a flat brush again like normal, and we're just going to put a tiny bit on the under eye. So in my inspiration picture, it's basically just on the under eye before it creases, so I go ahead and just dab it basically along my lower lash line. And then we'll blend it with the fluffy brush. And then I may even just add a bit of that NYX shadow onto it. So I'm just taking a bit more of that white and I've actually probably picked up too much. And I'm just going to keep that. Very close to my lashes. Just give it a little blend out like so. Liner comes into the lash line. So I'm going to make sure that this is pointing in like that. And then I'm going to take this Revolution, it's all rubbed off, but it's like a liner pencil pen. And it's really good. And I'm just going to go in on my lash line to make it black. And then where we've gone over a tiny bit, I'm just gonna correct that with a little bit more white. And that is the finished eye minus mascara. So I'm gonna go do the same on the other eye, add the lower lash mascara, and we'll come back for lips, and then we're finished. So I went off camera, I finished the other eye, and I did put lower lash mascara on this eye, as you can probably tell, and then removed it very carefully because I actually prefer how clean this looks without the lower lash mascara. So we're just going to move on to lips, and I wasn't sure what lip to do. I thought a red lip with this would be cool, but I kind of don't want to wear a red lip today, and I'm thinking I'm going to keep this makeup on because I don't normally, and it's really pretty, so I kind of want it on. But I feel like I always do a pink nude lip, so I'm going to try something different. I'm going to take my original Kylie Lip Kit lip liner. It's the only one I have left out of about 6 because I thought that they were plastic and not wood, and I didn't realise that you could sharpen them, and that might sound stupid because it very clearly looks like a pencil right now, but when they're full length, the way that the wood goes around the lip liner, it looks like it's plastic. So I threw them all away. Full lip liners in the bin. Anyway, I've still got this one, and this is like a plummy burgundy shade, so we're going to line our lips with that and then use a clear gloss and hope that it looks good. I'll just have my mirror in that whole frame. Great. And I'm just going to take this little brush that we did the white on because it's probably the least pigmented one we could use, and almost blend that lip liner into the lip. Then I do feel like we need something in the middle of this lip. So I'm going to see what pink looks like. And then I'm just going to top that with apparently my completely covered lip liner hands. This Revolution Glazed Lip Oil, which is now covered in that same lip liner. And I'm trying my hardest to go so light because I don't want to get the colour on the applicator. But I'm also too lazy to get a brush. So guys, this is the finished makeup. I'm just going to go off camera now and record a few clips to insert here for you to see the finished makeup, and I'll be back with you for the outro. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this little creative eyeshadow. I actually really enjoyed it. It's quite simple, but it gives enough, and I think this would be really cool actually to wear out on Halloween or just wear around the October month. And I'm going to keep this on today because I actually love it so much, and I never keep makeup on, so we'll see how long I last because I'm not very good at wearing makeup. I like to touch my face, and which is crazy for a makeup artist, but yeah, I'm going to wear this today and I'm super pleased with that. I hope you guys enjoyed, and tag me if you recreate any of this, even though this isn't my like full idea. I got the inspiration off Pinterest. Again, don't know the name, that's Pinterest for you. It's probably from a long time ago. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little Frankenstein inspired eyeshadow look, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment if you feel like it, and all my socials are linked in the description below, content creation and client social medias. And yeah, I will see you guys back here next week for another makeup video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.